So we are just about halfway through the second round of the group stage games here at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in North America, and we wanted to reconvene as a team on the pod and just kind of discuss a few things we've been seeing. Um, looking forward to hearing what the team is thinking about. Well, lots of the games we've seen, some of the interesting performances that we've seen, and then taking a look back at our predictions. Albeit, again, there's still a lot of football to be played. And maybe the new tiebreakers that they've introduced with the head to head as opposed to the goal difference has made maybe some of these third round games a little bit more of a formality than a necessity. But we'll still take a look at some of the games to come, and then just discuss what we've seen tactically. So I'm just really interested in bringing the guys in here and just hearing some overall thoughts on the game so far. We've seen every single team play. We've seen some teams play twice now. Just SP, what do you think of the game so far? Has it lived up to the hype of a World Cup? Has it excited you? Have you been impressed with what you've been seeing so far in terms of the level? What have you thought so far?
Yeah, some of the results surprised me so far, especially the Turkey results because I had them up there to go through to the next round. Uh, I think this World Cup has been very surprising in the sense that there are no easy games. Most of the games have been very competitive. You find that teams come out to actually want to get a result as per just coming to participate, and they're not playing teams just based off of names or big name players. All right. And we can look to the Spain Cape Verde game, for example. I don't think I've ever seen Spain be pushed around and have to run so much. The players looked physically exhausted, aside from the climate, which we did see that would be a factor. I
Yeah.
just feel like Cape Verde pushed them to a limit that they haven't gotten to for a while as a national team in Euro. So so far I've enjoyed it because the teams have come out to play. Some of the bigger teams like France, like Argentina, um, basically kind of they've gotten these results that we would have expected. But some of these games have also been very interesting in a sense that the so-called bigger teams haven't been able to get that result, such as Turkey, Uruguay. We had Spain getting a draw. So I've enjoyed the smaller teams putting up that fight to the bigger teams.
Okay. For Faka, what surprised you so far from the games that you've seen?
Um, for sure, I agree with SP when it comes to Turkey because I didn't have Turkey struggling to even score a goal at the World Cup. I thought, I thought, I thought they would have stepped up and played better football and be more, more creative, but it just wasn't working. Um, a few games like yeah, the Spain game did stand out, and SP just made a point about them play the climate. That first game that Spain played against Cape Verde, it was actually played in a dome that was covered.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
played in air conditioning.
Yeah. Down in Atlanta.
So
Yeah.
that was a so I think they was it was just a for Spain it was more like a little struggle to get off the blocks. Like we've seen other teams struggle to get out the blocks when it comes to World Cup. Last World Cup, Argentina lost the first game, end up winning the cup. The games have been very, very entertaining. Even if you watch um the teams come to play.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Teams have come out to the World Cup to play. There is no one is sitting back and saying I'm just here for the participation medal.
Right.
Cape Verde has shown that they can adapt because I watched the Euro game yesterday in its totality, and they can play. A couple of bad decisions in the game that they could have like held out, but
Yeah.
they've been very, very good when it comes to given that who they have played against you to open your World Cup against Spain and then going to your second game against Uruguay, and then you will say, I have 2 points.
Yeah. Not
That
many
says
not
something.
many people would have gotten money if they betted on that. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and they have a chance to qualify if they just get a win in the next game.
Against a struggling Saudi Arabia team. So
So we have that. But to answer your question, The games have been very, very entertaining from what I've found out, what I've watched.
Yeah,
I've been pleasantly surprised because I really thought it would have been a lot of like, you know how when Germany gave um the first game
Curacao.
away, I thought it was gonna be one of them World Cups, but
Yeah. Yeah, I will be one of the. I think there'll be this will be a theme throughout the rest of the podcast with me apologizing for wrong ticks. But I'll be the first person to say that when I first saw the 48 team World Cup, announced, I was like, I don't think the world has 48 top teams to make this competitive and not like a rollover for a bunch of teams. And even when I saw, some of the prices for some of these games, I was just like, who is paying this amount to watch New Zealand and all these things? But then again, it was maybe ignorance. It was maybe me not doing due diligence because, we have a very Eurocentric view of football. Or maybe we respect Europe and South America. We don't see much about, CONCACAF, even if we live in that region and Asia and Australia and Oceania and all that. So, or even like we had a few African teams doing good, but we're thinking of the big guns, like we're thinking of the Senegal, we're thinking of Morocco. But honestly, the only two teams that have disappointed and not been at the level for me in this is South Africa and Tunisia. Like these are the only two teams I've watched and I've been like they have been like head and shoulders below everybody else. All the games for me have been super competitive. I just think South Africa have not shown in moments maybe they can move the ball. There are some players like the left back looks like a decent player. But Tunisia, even with quality players who have played at a high level or playing at a high level, like Hannibal was at Man United, and the captain plays in the Bundesliga, but it's just been very disappointing. But yeah, I've been very, very impressed with the level, with the competitive nature of the games, and just looking at some of the big teams struggle. That's one thing I think that surprised me. I did not expect to see the competitive game with Brazil. I had Brazil struggling, but not necessarily struggling in these games that they've played so far. And yes, they won against Haiti, but it wasn't a convincing performance. Um, but yeah, so it's been really good so far. And just like looking at all the games that we've seen so far, what do you think SP has been the best team performance for you so far? Like what especially not even necessarily a big team, but maybe leaning on that, what big team has really clicked so far for you?
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on South Korea. Their first game was his Czech. I haven't seen them play much, but they were very balanced, they were very controlled, they were very in charge, and they looked like they knew what they were doing. And for long spells during that game, they kept onto the ball. It was like a training session.
Hmm.
Now, Czech isn't in the top 10 or top 20 teams in the world. But when it comes to that stage, there isn't, you don't really watch rank. You watch the teams on the day. And I think South Korea has given a good account of themselves. They've impressed me very much. I think they're very well balanced in all aspects. So they surprised me and they impressed me. Also, USA. USA look for the first two games, USA look like genuine contenders.
Wow.
I mean, I
are
didn't
you
want
get
to
are
see.
you getting paid to say that?
Okay, so I'm saying that based off of me being a neutral, right?
Okay.
If I had never watched football and I was watching football for the first time and I saw the
Uh,
USA against these two teams, I would think USA was one of the top five teams in the world.
you see, and
And
that's what you sound like. You sound like you just started watching football for
right,
saying that.
right. But I say that to see they've just from where they were to where they are now, they've made such a giant leap. That's why it's that much impressive. So in that short space of time, from since they changed managers to now, they look so well oiled in all aspects of the game, albeit they haven't played the toughest opponents, but they still look like a team that's been transformed. The way they
Yeah.
want to win the ball back as soon as they lose it, the way they keep the ball, the way they're so uniformed, and the way their star players should have. Um, McKenny, the forward, also
Balogun.
Pulisic, right? They've shown up in these games. They've not, you know, taken a back seat or they've not been what's the word so they've not been laid back.
Yeah.
They've shown up. They've realized that they are the ones to take on this team and take this team as far as they can. So they've definitely showed up, and they've just impressed me from where they were to where they are right now. I mean, the big teams, you would expect them to impress you because they have the bigger names, they have the bigger coaches. Um, but yeah, these I just wanted to touch on these two teams because these two teams, sorry, have been very good.
Yeah. Yeah, Fraka, what do you think? I think we had a little conversation about some of the teams, after this first round that's impressed us. But who do you think, now that we've seen a little bit more games, has been like a team that you've seen like really gel together well and they play? They might not have
So,
seen the results or even played a big team, but they just look good and promising.
but for me, I honestly think that I will agree with SP about USA because the expectation was not that high.
Uh-huh.
And then given that they were in transition, like new coaches, bringing in new players, they played very, very well. You can see there's a plan, they execute the plan, and if the plan goes well, you get the result. That's my take on that. Japan. Japan is resilient. They play. And I didn't I honestly I expected them to get out the group, but they've played extremely well, especially in the first game against the Netherlands, where you think Netherlands is just a team like they just been coming, and Japan was able to stay in the game and still get the draw.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that. Um, so far I am pleasantly surprised at the execution of how Argentina go about the game plan.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that is going to be as effective in the knockout rounds. I could be wrong, but I've never seen a coach or team set up in the way that they have set up because I was watching the game earlier and I saw them in a four. I think it was a 4-3-2-1 at one point, and it was a 4-4-1-1 at some point, and then they went into a 4-4-2 spread because
Yeah.
because McAllister and Enzo are not leaving the middle. The two wingers, wherever they pop up and they get the ball, just figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole lot of figuring out, and Lautaro Martinez is running like a that he working.
Yeah.
So I see the game plan is working for now, and it's worked very very. Like I given okay, yeah, they played first game. They played who in the first game? They played my God, why am
Argentina,
I Argentina,
Algeria, Algeria.
Algeria in the first game. It was supposed to be a decent game, but again, the control was there.
Yeah.
It looked like a normal kickabout. Today they had a little more work because the Austrian midfield was very very well good,
Yeah.
but they don't have a Messi.
Right.
Um, Colombia, even if it's one game, I think that's who you wanted to pick as your dark horse, Javel. Colombia, not Ecuador.
I get the flags messed up.
Yeah, I think that's who you wanted to pick. Colombia. I mean, we're gonna see them tomorrow, but Colombia was very impressive. It's a
Uh-huh.
very balanced team. Netherlands is surprisingly Netherlands are clicking offensively
Yeah.
because I think I said it our last show that if Netherlands can just not concede, they're going to be very, very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And my dark horse that I wasn't allowed to pick as a dark horse, Germany, seems to
Casa
be
the fellas
figure.
win the World Cup like 10
You
years ago.
understand? How can that be a dog horse frog? What are you talking about?
The fellas are
Because
4-time World
the
Cup winners,
the
yeah.
reason why they can be a dark horse because they've been so awful the last 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Ever since they won the World Cup in 2010,
Mm.
they've been awful. They've been
No, but regardless,
horrible.
they still go into any tournament they play. They go into it as title
I'll take
contenders.
that.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have pedigree.
I'll take that. I'll take that. But yeah, but nobody thought of say, okay, Germany gonna go deep. I'm still sticking with Germany going deep. And now I'm really, really thinking, okay, Netherlands might have something to say
Uh-huh.
also. Um, the for the other teams, the bigger teams like Brazil, Argentina, Spain, I think I want to see them against better opposition to see if they can have that other gear.
Yeah,
Because right now, Norway is being tested, France is being tested. They have some good games playing, so everyone has a high tempo game playing and not just like a low block. So I want to see like what's going to happen in the next round. But in all and all, this World Cup has I'm surprised. And like you said, Jamal, I don't think that the world has 48 teams and we can put in a tournament and we'll be entertained. I've been very, very entertained.
yeah,
It's been some very good games. Even the games, some of the games that end up 3-0, 4-0. I mean, it's just like sometimes the legs go under the players and they get the you have to press up the field because you have to and there's spacing behind and someone gets a tap in, that kind of thing. But it's good. It's good.
yeah. I I don't want to sound like a USA hater, right? But I know this will sound like it. That yes, they have won the two games, but I think it's just it's a bad skill for me. Paraguay is probably one of the other teams I think that's just been terrible. So it's probably Paraguay, South Africa, and Tunisia. So you have that. You also have when I watched that Australia game last Friday, for me, this was just, and I don't want to get into the realm of conspiracy theories, but this was just so scandalous. The amount of calls missed, the amount of penalty. Like I think Australia could have had two penalties, several calls from throw-ins to free kicks that could have gone their way and it didn't. And it just now when I look at that, I also see, hey, when you look at the World Cup hosts and their records going back for most teams that established, and I'm talking, you excluding Qatar, because I mean Qatar qualified this year and they qualified for the one that they hosted, obviously. But before that, I don't think Qatar had ever qualified, or maybe way, way back when. And then you look at South Africa, who, I mean, again, not a stalwart of the global game. Look at the history of the host so far. You're looking at Russia had a good run when they hosted it. You're looking at Brazil getting to the semi-final. You're looking at Germany getting to a semi-final or final in 2006. Can't remember. Looking at even like South Korea having a really good run when they hosted in 2002. You're looking at France winning it at home. You're looking at USA having a decent run when they hosted it in 94. So there is like that home advantage when you're hosting and people behind you, but I think that quickly fades away, and that's what I think will happen with the USA. And I think the fact that going into that third game, I think it can damage them psychologically because they've already gone through as group winners because of this whole head-to-head thing, which I don't agree with, because now Turkey's already out. There's no way Turkey can qualify. And they beat Australia, so even if Australia win their game against Paraguay and they level on points, the first tiebreaker is head to head and they beat Australia. So there's nothing that can take them from being first in that group. So I think that will maybe make them take their foot off the gas, get them away, as opposed to teams in, like, for example, Norway, Senegal, France, Iraq's group. Like, they're playing at least two competitive games where they're really getting tested, they're really pushing, like Raka said. And I think that can be very beneficial for them going forward. Um for me as well, I look at even with Spain, I see Spain struggling to break down low blocks. I watched them yesterday in the game against who did they play? Um they was that
You said?
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, yeah, Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia.
they played Saudi Arabia, and I was like, Saudi Arabia were poor, but there was still times where Spain was just struggling to break them down. Portugal the same, struggling to break their team down. England, it looks like a back and forth game with England, and I don't know if, I mean, I know they have the pace up front. You're talking about Rashford, you're talking about some of the other forwards that they have, and Kane dropping in and releasing them, that can be successful. So if that's the start they're going with, but I think Argentina has just looked aggressive, has just looked sharp, and I think regardless of what any of the players doing, whenever Messi is on form, I think you always have a great chance. I'm surprised a little bit by the lack of goals by Julian Alvarez. I saw Alvarez get a chance today, and Messi eventually had to finish it off. But I think if he gets into a little bit of form, and Martinez can give us the one goal that he's probably going to give us the tournament, but then hustle a little bit up top, I think they have a chance. But I've been very impressive with Argentina so far. And France, I see they're winning 3-0 now.
Yeah.
But in that second half against Senegal, they were fantastic. Just the talent that came off the bench, the amount of chances they will be able to create, but you still saw some chances that Nicholas Jackson had. So you know they're maybe a little susceptible to something, but it's a World Cup. You're not going to just dominate the whole 90 minutes. But yeah, I think I've been very impressed with maybe France and Argentina. And we'll just have to see a few more for to see like how these teams do throughout the group after 2 free games. But going from teams to just individual players, what individual players from any position, any team that you think have really impressed you so far, SB?
Yeah, well, I mean, aside from the, so I won't say aside from the obvious because we had something on Twitter where we said we should pick the best unk of
Yeah,
the, and I think Messi is already living up to that title.
yeah, yeah,
You know, five goals in 2 games. What I mean, at 48, he's 2 days shy of 39. I think. I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
Wednesday, 2:39.
what more can you ask for at that age? You know, I think
yeah,
he's been very. I mean, he lacks the legs, but um, so I think he plays his game now in moments. So he picks his moments where he puts in his all in, and you will see him get very positive results from that. Um, I think he's been very impressive. I think Mbappe for sure has been very impressive. I see him making some runs off the ball,
mhm,
and I didn't really see that from at Madrid, but I see him doing it now, and he's been very impressive. I think Olise as well. I think he has now 3 assists in 2 games. He's been very
yeah,
impressive. Not just the assist part, but his overall gameplay. Um, sorry. Um, I hmm, in regards to individual play, I don't think there's many players who stand out for me. I think Jude, and there's a guy from England. I think his name is Anderson.
yeah.
I'm not
Elliot Anderson.
Yes. Anderson, he's been very. I've not seen him play, but
Yeah,
from what I saw of him in that game, he's very impressive.
yeah. He's
He
a
has the
top player,
legs,
man.
he's strong, he plays with his head, and he always wants the ball.
And
Anytime
the
you have
way he passes the ball too, he passes the ball with a fizz, like he's confident in his pass.
anytime you're a midfielder and you want the ball anywhere on the pitch, you will impress me because we have a lot of midfielders nowadays that they don't want to receive the ball at certain areas on the
They
pitch because
shy, they shy. Yeah,
he wants it, and if he doesn't get it, he goes toward it. And that's very
yeah,
impressive for me as a midfielder myself. You know, so I think these guys have and I think also um there's a we spoke about Diamande as well for
yeah.
Ivory
he
Coast.
is one on one has been very impressive. His last game not so much, but the
Mhm,
first game they could not contain him at all.
yeah,
I wanted to touch on not an unsung hero, but he's kind of an unk as well. I think Rabiot has been very good for France.
yeah, yeah,
Rabiot has done the work silently, and he knows what he has to do. He doesn't try to do too much, but he does just enough that he goes under the radar. So I think he's been very impressive for me in that regard. And I mean, he's always been a player that I mean, you wouldn't say his name when a game is won or lost, but he's there putting in the work silently. So I think he's gone about his duties, and I think that's why Deschamps puts his trust in him because he's very reliable at the end of the day. So I
yeah,
All the
think
time, yeah.
yeah, so I think he's been putting in these under the radar performances, and I think if he keeps on doing it, I think he will play every single game for France. He's been good, wonderful.
yeah, yeah. Fraga, what about you? Which players you think have caught your eye?
Like as you said, for sure, apart from that first half against Senegal for Mbappe, I think Mbappe he's come to the World Cup to prove a point, and he's shown that he's ready. Because any other player after that type of first half against Senegal would have hung their head down and then
Yeah,
say, okay, we'll just figure it out. But he came up with 2 goals, and that second one was just brilliant. Um, the anchor of the tournament, of course, Leo, because I know where he getting it, but he getting it from somewhere.
yeah,
But he's right. Like the game is tailored in a way that he picks his moment, and when he picks the moment, he gets a goal. So in a football match, when you have somebody that can get you out of a slump, because I saw the game, well, not so much the Algeria game. The game today, Austria had them under a significant amount of pressure, but
Mhm.
they were so organized that it didn't phase them. They just knew that okay, we're gonna get one, and then we're gonna slow the game down. We're gonna take our chances. We're gonna play. We're gonna play. We're gonna try and get. And we got he got a persistent one, but it was you would not say it wasn't well deserved that he got a second because
Yeah,
just how the game played. Um, Olisi for real, for sure, for sure, for sure. Olisi is like I don't know that boy is nah. He he's showing something that I think that a lot of people didn't think that he had.
yeah.
And I think 2 days ago, I think Thierry Henry was talking about how when Thierry Henry captained the Olympic, sorry, coached the Olympic team,
He was
sorry.
in as a number 10.
Yeah, and he told them that if they put Olisi at the 10, it's over for everybody else. And so said, so done. So we're seeing him. Theo Mande, I'm gonna touch on him. But in his first game, he was unplayable. I think the second game, I think his inexperience showed,
Yeah,
his youth showed, and he didn't know how to adjust to being marked tightly, or his decision making in the final third was horrible. He was getting onto the ball the same way, but there were times that he ghosted out of the game. My standout performer, though, I don't think that we were give we sorry, we need to see one more game because England has only played one, but Jude Bellingham played an incredible game
yeah,
for
Jude.
England.
Yeah,
He played a game that a lot of people think that he could not play anymore.
yeah,
And then he said, I think it was on his mind because I think in one of his post game interviews he said he just came to remind people of who he is. So
yeah,
when a player comes out and says that to you, I'm okay. Show me what you got next game
yeah. You see,
because he had a great game honestly. And I am not a Jude Bellingham fan. I
yeah,
appreciate footballers who play the positions to the best of their ability and show up on the day. And I can tell you that was one of the and he knew he had to show up because he was playing against such an experienced midfield. So
yeah,
he had to put in the work. And like as we said, Elliot Anderson, he's been an unsung hero for a long time. I think if it was another coach that had that England team, they would still be playing a pedestrian pivot with Rice and somebody else, not an
Henderson.
actual exactly. So
Yeah,
not an actual footballer.
yeah. Man, like with Jude, it's been such I've kind of changed my opinion on Jude because when Jude first moved to Madrid and that first season, it seemed that everything was going right for him. And I was just like, man, like this will fade away eventually. It's just you're playing for Madrid, of course you're playing good, and then just like he's not the smoothest midfielder you'll see in terms of sometimes he look like he's muscling his way through. He look like he's sometimes fighting with the ball. It doesn't look natural when you watch a Messi or a Pedri or even a Modric or a Cruz. They just look relaxed. They look Judy's always muscling his way through and fighting and it doesn't. But then at the end of the day, the guy gets it done. The guy goes past players. The guy puts in tackles. The guy wears his heart on his sleeve. The guy scores goals. The guy, he does everything. He's in the box. He's in the right areas. So it's like, well, it doesn't have to look like what you expect. It doesn't have to look like Iniesta. It doesn't have to look like Neymar. It just has to work, and it's been working for him for a long time. Obviously, we know last season he was dealing with an injury, and he was playing through it. So even before that, some of the performances you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. But Jude has been impressive. And I think before the World Cup in the last warm up they had against New Zealand, I think I saw him and I said to you all, I think Jude is in form. And he was well rested because he didn't play this season, but
He's
he-
fit.
he's
He's
fit.
extremely
And
fit.
he's always a guy that he gets through work. Like people talk about Rice as an engine on him, but Bellingham, Rice doesn't do the dribbling that Jude does. Like Jude will dribble, get up the field, get the ball again, tackle, no problem for him. He'll be on the left side as a winger. He'll come in the middle. He'll be defensive midfielder.
Yeah,
He's
but
a player. He's a player.
in the first game there was a time when I think Croatia was about to score and they were in the big box. They were just on top of the small box and
Mm.
someone blocked the ball. Jude.
Yeah.
You,
He's just all action
so
midfielder, man.
yeah,
Like
so
he's
you will find him getting in the box to head a ball to score a goal, and you will find him in his box blocking the ball as well. That's just
the, that is
that's
him. That's
yeah.
I know I know it's early to say that kind of thing, but I think if you take the best attributes of a Frank Lampard, able to get into the box late and score goals, a Steven Gerrard with the range of passing, he might not be passing it long in the air, but the amount of through balls that Jude plays, the assist he gets, and just like a Paul scores with the industrious nature, the ability to kind of give the tempo to a game, even as an attacking midfielder. I think Jude has all the best qualities of these three legendary England midfielders, but I think some of the other players that impressed me is that young Morocco midfielder Bouadi, because I think that the two games I've seen him against Brazil, the first game, the guy's 18 years old and he was in the middle of the field, just easy for him, dictating the play against legends and senior players like Casemiro. He was just unfazed, amazing debut. And then the second game against Scotland, he was just as good. I think he did a lot more defensive work and just more tempo setting because I think after a while, they just kind of wanted to keep the ball against the Scottish. So I was really impressed with him. The other one is the left back from Cape Verde, Lopez Cabral. This guy has quality, man. He's sharp, he's quick. I can say the same thing for the left back from Haiti, Experience. That guy has been playing good. Even if Haiti haven't gotten a result, but he's been sharp. He's been clean on the ball, completing his passes, getting up and down the field, putting crosses in. Didn't look phased from any of the Brazilian midfielders. Not that I would be phased by Martinelli, but didn't look phased from anybody he's played so far. Even in the game against Scotland, he was still a standout player. Um, and Olise has been good. I think Enzo Fernandez in the game that I saw him has been good. I think in the South Korea, the PSG player from South Korea, what's his name?
Young,
Lee King Young.
yeah,
Lee
What's the
Kang
guy?
in.
Lee
Kang
Kang
in.
in, yeah, he was impressive too. Who else did I see that I like? Even I know I don't know how Gakpo does it, but when it's World Cup time, Gakpo has been actually decent.
Hotel Crocodile, Hotel
I know, but the two games he's played, Gakpo has been
You're
really good.
trusting. I can't even say no because it's true.
The man just shows up for the World Cup, and it just I don't know. And Gravenberch has been good too. I think that I don't know if you watched New Zealand play yet, but New Zealand have a midfielder, the number 8, just and the man linking up with Chris Wood, and the man looking like a top midfielder, left-footed player. Like look at New Zealand play the next time, and you see it. And then just like Pap Gay, he plays in I think he plays for Villarreal in Spain, but Senegal midfielder. I think he was very impressive against France. I like him. He's tall and big, but he gets up the field, good touches, turning out the pressure, good range of passing. So yeah, there have been some players I'm looking for, and I try not to look at just like the big names. I want to see if the big names can live up to the name, but I'm looking at some of these players and I've seen like if I'm a scout, that's probably who I'm going for because they might not be as expensive, but they look like they have real quality.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, and that kind of just moves us to our next one is just like I guess a little bit maybe away from the football side. It's just that what have you or what's your opinion so far, SP, on these hydration breaks? And I know like when it first came out there was a huge uproar and like do you still feel like it deserving of the uproar? Do you see some benefit to it? Like what's your views on the hydration breaks they have in every half now?
Yeah, I just think they're very unnecessary and they're very forced. I mean, I get that they're in a different climate, but when these players go for preseason, that's the kind of climate they have.
Yeah.
That they have a hot climate. So, and I think there are enough times during the game where there are breaks. There's
Yeah.
a foul or there's something happen, and these players can get some water. So I just think it doesn't deserve the uproar that it's had. But I
Uh-huh.
just think it's a bit forced and it's a bit unnecessary because players can get water at any point in the game if they want to. There are so many breaks during the game that these players can get some water. I mean, come on, let's not act like these players are refusing water. They literally have bottles lined up on the side for these players
Exactly.
to get water whenever they want. So I just think it's a bit forced. I think it takes away from the momentum of certain teams in the game as well. Because if you're a team you run not down and you have the momentum on your side and you getting into the game gradually. At some point you will score, or at some point, something will happen for you, and then you find out you have to take a 3-minute break. And I mean, yeah, it's I it's not good for the game of football at all, at all, at all, at all, at all.
Yeah. Fraka, what do you think? You think there's some benefit to the hydration breaks?
Okay, so the
You said
hydration break,
it's because in Atlanta we
hydration
have the
break,
air conditioning, but not everywhere
yeah,
they have it.
to me, it's supposed to be on a venue basis.
Mm-hmm.
Venue and the time needs to be taken into account because if you're playing at 3 o'clock in California, of course, um, like you just pointed out, in this there a lot of these games that we play in domes. People don't know that.
Yeah.
So, for instance, Georgia is a dome. AT&T in Dallas is a dome.
Texas, yeah.
Texas is a dome.
I
So
think SoFi in
SoFi
California
is a
too.
dome. These stadiums are covered, closed during the games when they have the afternoon game. So it's very comfortable. Also, I last week I tuned into European telecast. When they go to the hydration break, they do not
Mm.
the the broadcast does not leave the stadium.
Yeah.
It stays in there. You see what's going on while the players drinking water, getting instructions or whatnot. The uproar, like as we said, it's unnecessary. Not in a sense that okay, the only reason why it's a lot of commercials and they're tailoring the hydration for the duration of the commercials, which makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Momentum, Saturday, Germany Ivory Coast. Germany dominating the game for the first 23 minutes. Total domination. As soon as they come out of the hydration break, Ivory Coast took goal. So it's I don't know, like it's unnecessary. Like as we said, there are bottles lined up on the side of the field. If a ball goes out from a throw, if there's a bottle at your feet, you can get some water.
Yeah.
Easy. Someone goes down for a little check for 2 minutes, you can get some water.
Yeah.
VAR check, you can get some water. All these instances in the game where you can get water. So
Yeah.
I think it's a little too forced on the game. They have it in quarters, it's like we're watching basketball. First
Yeah.
quarter, second quarter, third quarter. That's how we have the game. So I think there's something that they need to revisit and figure it out because I think the last World Cup that had a hydration break was it the Brazilian?
Yeah, Brazil, but it was like 1 minute.
Exactly. So why
This
is
one
it
is like free.
why is it
And that,
even that one is
yeah,
free?
that really, it just has no benefit really, actually. You
Yeah,
know,
because I don't understand why you need 3 minutes to get water.
exactly.
You don't.
And also like you said, people are doing like I did they have it in the second half for the friends game? 'Cause it's pouring down rain and they want to have hydration
What I
breaks.
have,
I don't think so. I probably
I don't
not.
have I have the Norway game on. It's 1-0 to Norway. I didn't
I
look
will
at
I'll
the
have to
friends game.
look into that because I saw there was a game. It wasn't pouring down rain, but it was raining, and they still had hydration. I said that looks so stupid. And the thing is, I think it kind of benefits like the bigger teams because that's maybe a controversial opinion, but you see like before they used to have 3 subs and now they have 5 subs. I feel that benefit bigger teams because bigger teams have more star players. So now if you
Mhm.
see something not working, you can bring 5 other players to solve that. With other teams, like they can only bring like before you could only bring like 3, and most small teams don't have 5 star players on the bench. So now you having like if a coach get his starting 11 wrong, you have 5 chances to fix it as opposed to before when you have 3. So like it
Mhm.
really impacts like teams which have a deeper roster. So I don't necessarily. I also know like I remember when you used to play bigger teams. Coaches used to tell you play the game in 10-minute intervals. Try to get to 10. Try to get to 20. Try to get to. It's like when you do that, that break almost gives that team a chance to now go back to their coach. If you holding on, it's St. Lucia playing Germany and we say let's just get to the first half. Let's just stop. And then we have them nil at 20 minutes. Now they go in, coach has a chance to bring out a board, a tactics board. They fix this, they do that. Some people even making substitutions. And then now the whole momentum shift. You get out of your rhythm. And then now you're just like, well, you're going to do it again in the second half. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't like it. And then there's also the commercial side of it. And is for me, it's just I think FIFA did a lot of things maybe probably right in this World Cup. Like they prove us wrong with the 48 team World Cup and the
Yeah, probably wrong yet.
the
That's still making sense to me.
the 48
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
they going to 64 next.
Yeah, that's
Ah,
crazy. We do have 64 good teams in the world.
Yeah, they do
that's
have. So
great.
I don't
So
know, but
next year, so next World Cup, Mbappe goes for like 25 goals in the World Cup.
yeah, boy, that record not even like making sense anymore because like the players who scored before like closer, the man was playing in a whole different game than they playing now in the World Cup. So
Yeah.
it not even adding up. But yeah. So the one of the last things I'll just talk about is just like tactically, what have you noticed from any other team so far that you just be like, all right, that's something that's new, that's something that's interesting, that's something that you kind of want to see how this team goes forward with that kind of strategy. What have any of you noticed so far tactically?
Um, so for France, I was actually watching France, and some of the other teams that have more of their star players playing in the forward line. I think they've tried to adopt to a style where they have their players interchange a lot. Because
Hmm.
for front, I see sometimes Mbappe up front, and then I see Dembele
Him on
there,
the
then
right.
sometimes
Yeah.
way there, and then I would see Omisi come into the middle. I would see Mbappe go out to the right. So they do a lot of interchanging. I saw that with France. I saw with the USA, one of the tactics was to win the ball back instantly,
Yeah.
get back in the opponent's half.
Yeah,
When they
That's Pochettino, man.
when they lose the ball in their half, they're not as quick to win it back as if they win it if they lose it in the opponent's half.
Opposition. Yeah.
Right. And I think also for the smaller teams, I think they've got it right with the low blocks. Right. And I think
Okay.
they've made the low blocks with the energy because you find most teams. So for example, a bigger team playing a low block would be a little more lackadaisical as per a smaller team. The smaller team is playing the low block and they actually try to like they put in the work. So the bigger teams would more try to be tactical and try to read you or read what you're
Yeah.
going rather than use the energy. So they would save the energy because they know they have their time. So their time will come. Because
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
said, intervals 10, 20, 30, 40. So each team has their time. I think the smaller teams they don't really have that time or as much of that time. So
Hmm.
you would find like let's say England versus Croatia. England would probably dominate for 20 25 minutes, and then there would be at a time they would have to defend for that same 20 25 minutes, right? And in that time they don't put in as much work, so they save some energy. I think the smaller teams don't save that energy. They go all out
Yeah.
when they are defending, not so much so when they attacking, but when
Yeah.
they defend because they know the more they wear out that team, the more they keep that team from scoring, the more frustrated that team will get, and
Yeah.
the more chances they will have. The better their chances will be to get a point. And I
Yeah.
mean, who would not want to go to the World Cup and not get a point? I
Yeah.
mean, 3 games in the group stage. I mean, everything on the line.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting to see. And this isn't really um, tactic wise, but I think the lesser teams have impressed me with the way they've been able to at least hold the ball for 2 to 3 minutes while the big teams chase them.
Yeah.
That's been very interesting because back then you would expect these teams to get the ball and just thump it down.
Clint. Yeah.
They actually try to hold and pass the ball around to wear the other team down, frustrate
Yeah.
the other team. So that's been very impressive from them. And not just one or two of them. All the teams from Curacao to Cape Verde to Haiti, all of these teams are trying to put in the effort. And I think that's what makes this World Cup so exciting
Hmm.
because you don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's some like great points, honestly. Because for me, the things I've seen tactically is teams have been very hard to break down. And I don't know if I think it's both because teams have gotten a lot more organized defensively. Like the blocks are tighter, they're moving as a unit, there's very little space. I just saw Spain, against Cape Verde just struggle to find spaces to even play between the lines. Everything is trying to go side to side, maybe trying to get across, but still no chance there. But when Cape Verde won the ball, it's not just, and I saw this with Haiti as well. It's not just they try to keep the ball, but when they counter with numbers. It's not just one man trying to take on three defenders or four. It's the whole team getting up, left back overlapping, and then when they lose it, they come back. I saw Haiti against Brazil, the same thing. They won the ball back, they try to go forward quick and count. It's not, and that's very different from what you've seen against like a David Goliath kind of game before, where it's like the big team has the ball, the smaller team win it, they just play it and then just defend. Like teams are keeping it one, and they're also trying to counter attack with pace, and they might not get the results, but you could see the bigger teams are now forced to do a little bit of defending as well.
Yep.
That's been very very impressive to see. But yeah, I want to see how these, because so many teams are just struggling to break down teams, and when you look at club football, I would expect these teams to probably have a better blueprint of how it goes, because there are teams that every week they face a low block. Every week, you look at the Man City, you look at the Arsenal team when they have the ball, you look at Barcelona, you look at Real Madrid, you look at Bayern Munich. Week on week, week in, week out, these teams face a low block, and they've given blueprints of how to unsettle it, how with the quick combinations, how with the underlaps and overlaps, how with the drawing these teams out of the pitch to now find that space in behind. And you just not seen that. I didn't see that from Portugal. I didn't see Portugal kind of drawing Congo out, or going in behind Congo, or getting underlaps and overlaps in between there. I didn't see it from Spain. I didn't see it from Brazil necessarily in the game against Morocco. Not that Morocco is a small side, but just the ability to really create chances has been like good chances has been struggling, and I think that's why we really haven't seen a lot of good strikers at this tournament, because the chances have been few. Like Mbappe scored some goals, Messi has not scored striker goals. You haven't seen many striker goals, and it's
Yeah.
just like teams are not creating the chances that you expect them to create. But I'll just go to you, Fraka. Like, what tactically have you seen from some of the teams so far?
Um, France has a good idea. I just think they need to get the personnel right when it comes to the rotation, because I still think that one of the attackers are being forced to do things that they were not used to doing. Like you see today that they switched out Desiree Doué. I mean, he didn't have the best opening game, but they switched him out for Bacola, and then they brought in Kone in place of Chouameni. So I think he's trying to figure out the balance as to who should enable his attacking players to be more fluid. Um, I saw I saw they won 3-0. I think Dembele finally got a goal at a major competition for the first time
Yeah,
since. So that's that. I guess they're trying to figure it out. Um, Cape Verde defensively, they are very organized.
yeah,
Saw them against one of the most stubborn football teams in the history of football in Uruguay, and I think Cape Verde actually spent some time in South America to play that style of football,
yeah,
because the only reason why Cape Verde didn't come out with a W yesterday because of the lack quality. And when I say quality, I mean quality in the finishing and the decision making, because they could have won that game twice.
yeah.
Um, so they're very, very tactically sound. They might not be as talented as the teams that they've gone up against, but they played Spain and Uruguay and have, like I said earlier, 2 points with a chance
I,
to
I- I'll
qualify for the
I'll just
second round.
interject real quick, so I don't need to forget what you're saying. But like, I think that's a theme you see from maybe some of the lesser sides, if you want to call them that. It's just that when they get into these positions where they can really hurt a big team, they struggle with the decision making, and they struggle. You saw a Dinger against Germany. I don't know what he's
Oh, that
thinking there
was
in that position.
horrible.
You saw even Nicholas Jackson against France. There were times they could have killed France in that first half. They don't finish. I think you see that a lot with bigger teams. I don't know if it's just they're surprised they're in that situation, or they're overthinking it, or they're overconfident. But yeah, like the decision making from a lot of the small teams, and the big teams always find a way to come back and kill you. So I just wanted to point that out. But continue.
Because yeah, you're not wrong, especially on the side of you would expect a Dinger to do better in that situation,
Yeah.
because the ball is rolling onto your stronger foot. All you have to do is put your foot through it to the far side of the goal. I don't know what that told him, that he was should take a touch and try to put clothes on it, kiss it,
Yeah, the
hug it.
man dresses the ball like
Nicholas Jackson, I think it's just a Nicholas Jackson thing now, because
yeah.
I don't know what that was. The he,
Uh,
because you cannot be in that situation all the time and make the same mistake. So I'm not giving him a pass for these bad decisions. And the quality of friends was just too much. Because
Yeah.
if he had taken at least one of those chances in the first half, the second half would not have been such smooth sailing for France. Um, I've been, like I said, Argentina's tactics to me is kind of on the up and down because what happens when if a team figures out, okay, we're gonna put a boxer on Messi and let somebody else beat us
Mm.
because clearly the tactic is okay, we're gonna work, and hopefully that the two three instances where Messi gets open, he's going to make it count.
Yeah.
Um, Germany is sound. I mean, apart from that 40 minute spell that they had against Ivory Coast, they look like they have a decent chemistry around them when it comes to the way that they want to play.
Yeah.
I still think they lack a little bit of creativity, especially because I think they're forcing Sane to be the guy that he used to be when he was with Man City. I don't think that he has it anymore. I think someone else would get a chance because he's looked lost in the two games that I've seen. Um, we all know Musiala is coming back from an injury, so he's probably still trying to get mates under him. But Germany look very, very sound,
Yeah.
and the Dutch just look like no one is talking about them, so they're using that
To
opportunity
the advantage.
to their
Yeah.
advantage and just fly under the radar,
No
get their
pressure.
results, no pressure. Because I did think that they deserved to win that game against Japan. They were just wasteful
Yeah. Yeah.
and they got caught. But the response in the second game was, I mean, you come out the second
Against
game,
Sweden, a good Sweden team
a
too.
good well, it's supposed to be a good Sweden team.
Hmm.
Remember, Sweden didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They got in via the I think was it
The
the
playoffs.
the play not the playoffs. It was the Nations League,
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
the performance in the Nations League. So they had already had their spot,
Yeah.
quote unquote. So Sweden's supposed to be good. I don't think they were good, but and plus the coach is a known. I'm not gonna say the word that came to my mind first, but the coach is been known to be suspect tactically
Yeah.
because so I think playing both Eucharist and Isaac without proper cover in the midfield is a problem. So if you play against a proper midfield that the Dutch do have, you get exposed. So
Yeah.
my is my most impressive team that I've watched. I will put Netherlands at one. I will put Germany at two,
Uh-huh.
France at three, and I'll get let me give you five, Argentina at four, and oh USA five.
Okay.
Seriously.
I refuse to give USA any ratings, but for the last for the last like 7 minutes or so we have left, I just want us to, if you guys remember, or you can pull up your notes from the predictions we made for like the categories that we had before when we did our last podcast before the World Cup started. I just kind of go through it quickly and just kind of see what we said and what we're thinking now. So I remember for me, I'll start at Golden Boot, Harry Kane. I still think Harry Kane is in a shout. I know Messi is on five now in 2 games, and Kane is on two, but I still think Kane has just is in goal scoring form. It's a good team that will still provide for him. He's a penalty taker for them as well. So I still think Kane has a good shot for the Golden Boot. I had Olise for best player. I still think Olise has a chance because I think France will go far. The only thing that might be difficult is just that because Mbappe is scoring the goals, that's how these awards go. I can see Mbappe getting that too. Even if France go on and win it, I think they'll still say for Mbappe. I had Dark Horse Ecuador. I I I I don't think that's happening. I think Ecuador will be going home. Ecuador has really, embarrassed me because I got it all wrong. I'm very
We'll,
sorry,
we'll,
guys.
we'll give you a
I
pass for that one. I
I
think
I
you
don't I don't think I'm allowed to have any opinions when it comes to predicting
Ah,
things
you good,
because
you good.
because
We
not
already
you
knew that
see
was
if
going to
you
happen, so you good.
because you see if you lose that's cool because even if Cape Verde lose but everyone watch Cape Verde if you lose all right them man play Ecuador been playing terrible Ecuador just I watching Incapié they just have my dog on a spin cycle I watching Valencia just boy. Anyways, guys. So definitely not Ecuador for no dark horse. I self give up on the Turkey dark horse thing a long time ago because I feel from early 2010 people saying Turkey is dark horse and I just know Turkey that. So now I give up on Turkey, I give up on Belgium, and now I give up on Ecuador.
okay.
And then team with a shock early exit. I still think in Brazil because I watched Brazil in these two games. It's still not impressive. Still not where I think they'll be, and I think Brazil will be heading out. Like once they get to that first knockout, the round of 42, I think Brazil are out. So that's my predictions. SP, what if you remember yours? What would them and just go for it quickly with the 5 minutes we have left?
Yeah, I have the same golden boot as you. I have Kane. I still have Kane to win the golden boot because I mean Kane is a main striker. Kane digs penalties. Kane is a man that can score from inside the box, outside the box, from a set piece. So I still have Kane very much to win the golden boot. Although with the way Mbappe is playing and the way Messi is playing, I mean,
Yeah,
but yeah,
boy.
I have Olise as well to win the MVP. Um, it might be a bit harder for him because I mean Mbappe is goal scoring form. So that might be a bit hard for him. But I think if he keeps in with a few goals and he keeps his performances to what they are right now, and maybe even gets a bit better, I think he's still in for a shout. So
Yeah.
to keep that. My dark horse, of course, Morocco doing well, doing well. Unlike certain teams, unlike certain teams, and they even look like they shocking some people because they have some of the players already signing for big
Top
teams.
teams buy in, yeah.
There's a guy who signed for Bayern who
Yeah,
say Brahim shouldn't be at Real. He should be starting somewhere else.
for sure, yeah.
And you have the 18-year-old. So yeah,
Boadi,
so they
yeah.
good bet for the dark horse. And for the shock exit, I had Germany, which may seem to not be happening. But I had Germany because they were just not fluid enough for me, and I didn't see the balance with them, so that's why I had them there.
Yeah.
But it looks like if they win the next game against who they play? Ecuador.
Ecuador. Ecuador, right?
That's when my the fellas go show up. The fellas go show up against Germany, man.
So
The fellas go show up.
unless Ecuador do go out and put in the performance Juvel, no them to be, then I think they will go through. So for now, looking at 6, 5
Uh,
out of my
Haaland just scored. It's two. Senegal
one,
will
two, three,
win
four, five.
tonight.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
am 4-4-5 right now. Still,
Yeah,
you know, go-
he's still in a chance, yeah.
yeah, I went strong. I went strong.
All right, Fraka, what about you now?
Yeah, I think I had Kane also for the top most goals. I think we all of us agreed on these two most goals and best player. Obviously,
Mm,
um, yeah, if Odyssey gonna come through, he gonna have to chip in with a couple of goals because if Mbappe keeps getting a goal a game, I don't think he's going to not be the best player at the World Cup. And I do see France making it very deep.
yeah.
Um, what was it, Dark Horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Da- Okay, so since I have to change my Dark Horse because Germany cannot be considered a Dark Horse,
So,
I am going to throw Colombia in as my Dark Horse.
okay. We'll give
I
you
am
a
going
chance
to
because they only play one game.
I
Yeah,
am going to
yeah, yeah.
I
We'll
will roll
get
with color. I will roll with Colombia since I don't know why, but I guess. So I'm gonna roll with Colombia as my dark horse. What was the other one we had?
And then team with a shock early exit.
Shock early exit. I gotta change Argentina. I gotta
Oh
we
yeah,
are
change
we,
yeah, yeah. You would say Argentina.
we
That's what.
because I didn't know how they were going to approach the tournament because it's not a lot of creative players in the squad. it's a lot of
Uh,
workhorses, so they're using the workhorses to their advantage, and I think it's gonna get them at least to the quarterfinals,
yeah,
given the trajectory. Because I think I saw like second round they might get to round of 32, they might get Cape Verde. Imagine if Cape Verde in
yeah.
exactly. So that
Well,
that
I had Argentina and France get into the finals, so I feel them man go
so
go all the way.
so to switch up my early exit, um I think it's gonna be Portugal.
But yeah, Portugal have a
I feel you're going to switch your exit, because I switch my exit there. So
No, he might
true.
say he might
Actually
okay.
true. Actually
Okay,
true.
so
yeah,
Actually
I think you're
true.
going to switch my exit.
I'll stick to Argentina.
Can do that.
No, because okay, so I can only switch it dark horse.
All right. So the thing is, early for me is anything before quarterfinals.
Okay,
So if you go out round of 16, that is still early for
all
like
right. So
Argentina, but that is still early.
I think Brazil making it to the 32 to 16.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, boy. They still have a lot of football
It's
to
a
play,
lot. It's
bro.
a lot. It's a lot. So that's a
No,
what's
Messi have a
that?
bag of goals to score still, dog. Yeah.
M- m-
Yeah. Yeah.
Today, this
Dog.
year, Mbappe can score more, can break Messi record.
And
I
the man
think
have
how many?
that's if they reach the final, they have like 6 games left, dog.
Yeah, you have a next
Yeah, at least two.
exactly.
Because I'm just 25. So 29, 44, 49. I'm gonna get to play 3 World Cups, dog.
Okay, so
Yes.
we keep everything as is. I just got to change my dark horse. Okay,
I I
you're difficult, man.
I well we go see what
Ha-
happen in a couple weeks after the group stage finish.
anyway,
Um
Haaland just scored a while ago. Huh?
yeah,
Just
yeah, I
two
saw that. So you on 3, Mbappe on 4, Messi on 5,
yeah,
Kane to play tomorrow. Kane to play tomorrow.
at four.
Maybe Ronaldo score 6 against Uzbekistan.
If he play, if he starts,
Boy, I the killer miak day, boy. Yeah. That's a
do you
that
think that he will
that
start
chip on the
tomorrow?
shoulder thing, man, against him. That is Ronaldo at Madrid. That is Ronaldo going against Barca. That is Ronaldo going against City, Liverpool.
No, it's
But
still
that is still that's what the Ronaldo now. That's what that man is. Ronald that day, guy. That Ronald that day, bro.
that's crazy. Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dog, I doubt in the man. I I just think that is a whole different player now, dog. I feel that is a whole different player. And not just that, I feel that man like I wouldn't be surprised if when man like Bruno, Joao Neves, them man seem like they can do it without him. That's the thing. Them man seem like they good enough to do it. Like before, I truly feel like when man on Argentina, Enzo, them man watch Messi, them man being like, boy, that man can save us. That man alone can save us. I feel like man like Bruno feel like Bruno know he can score goals, dog. Bruno must be feeling like he don't need that man. Mm, yeah,
He's-
mm, yeah, easy. Yeah,
Most
mm,
skillful, most skillful,
yeah, he could
most
jump the
skillful.
highest. Mm. But the thing is he cannot run as in like that man would have push a ball past you and then run and then chop it again and then beat you in the inside. But he still have the ability in the box, so he'd have to run too much. That man's still sharp in the box. The
I know, but
movement,
look
but he's not
coming out the
finishing.
box.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you saying that man can score from 40 yards again? Mm, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you moving, bro?
no, Erling has arrived.
Oh, you're
Erling
free.
Erling has
Ja.
arrived.
Hey,
It's 3-1.
no, hey, no, I just checked. We are in that yet. Jada.
So,
Yeah, yeah, people. Thank you so much for listening. We give you a little behind the scenes. Catch us in the next week and a half. I think at the end of the group stage, where
yes.
we'll finally have an idea of how this fourth place thing working and what the knockout round of 42 now looks like. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.